People should pursue what they are passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. I wouldn't say I have a lack of fear. In fact, I'd like my fear emotion to be less because it is very distracting and fries my nervous system. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. I'm personally a moderate and a registered independent, so I'm not strongly Democratic or strongly Republican. Entrepreneurship is like eating glass and walking on hot coals at the same time. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. And we need things in life that are exciting and inspiring. It can't just be about solving some awful problem. There have to be reasons to get up in the morning. Ancient Greece had it all, then committed suicide. Nobody digs your grave better than yourself. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. Great companies are built on great products. The first step is to establish that something is possible. Then probability will occur. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Nah, what's wrong with a horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart. I say something, and then it usually happens. Maybe not on schedule, but it usually happens. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have all the ingredients in the right proportion. I've actually not read many books on time management. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. There are really two things that have to occur in order for new technology to be affordable to the mass market. One is you need economies of scale. The other is you need to iterate on the design. You need to go through a few versions. I'm interested in things that change the world or that affect the future and wondrous new technology where you see it. And you're like, wow, how did that even happen? How is that possible? What makes innovative thinking happen? I think it's really a mindset. You have to decide. Brand is just the perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead, other times it will be behind. But a brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. Take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it. When somebody has a breakthrough innovation, it is rarely one little thing. Very rarely is it one little thing. It's usually a whole bunch of things that collectively amount to a huge innovation. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. It's very important to like the people you work with. Otherwise, life and your job is gonna be quite miserable. The key test for an acronym is to ask whether it helps or hurts communication. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. If something has to be designed and invented, and you have to figure out how to ensure that value of the thing you create is greater than the cost of the inputs, then that is probably my core skill. I always have optimism, but I'm realistic. It was not with the expectation of great success that I started Tesla or SpaceX. It's just that I thought they were important enough to do anyway. A company is a group of organized to create product or service, and it is only as good as its people and how excited they are about creating. I do want to recognize a ton of super talented people. I just happen to be the face of the companies. I don't spend my time pontificating about high-concept things. I spend my time solving engineering and manufacturing problems. As much as possible, avoid hiring MBAs. MBA programs don't teach people how to create companies. Never. I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated. For my part, I will never give up, and I mean never. We are the first species capable of self-annihilation. I think we are at the dawn of a new era in commercial space exploration. I would like to die on Mars, just not on impact. We don't want to be one of those lame one-planet civilizations. Please. There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everyone is trying to optimize their ass covering. If humanity doesn't land on Mars in my lifetime, I would be very disappointed. Patience is a virtue, and I'm learning patience. It's a tough lesson. Any product that needs a manual to work is broken. Starting a business is not for everyone. Starting a business, I'd say, number one is have a high pain threshold. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. The duty of a leader is to serve their people, not for the people to serve them. You have to be pretty driven to make it happen. Otherwise, you will just make yourself miserable. The thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. Engineering is the closest thing to magic that exists in the world.